Join me on an 8-mile hike, tagging multiple Wainwright summits to celebrate 1 whole year of being alcohol free. Weather conditions were tough with 50-mile-an-hour winds, and there were some very ominous looking clouds. A year ago I'd have struggled to do this, but I've trained hard at the gym, worked on nutrition and lost 3.5 stone in 7 months. I take in the beautiful views of the Lake District en route and even chat with the local wildlife. Sunset and sunrise colours never disappoint. I run through my kit, get the tent set up, and it gets absolutely battered by the wind. With Tactical Duck, my ever faithful partner in crime, with me the whole way, I enjoy my evening meal, then talk about how much of a difference no alcohol has made to me, as well as encouraging you to get out and enjoy the outdoors.
Hello YouTube, I hope everyone's fit and well. Boy, is it good to be back out. Unfortunately, last weekend I had to miss getting out. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was actually off work ill. Very poorly indeed. Fingers crossed I get this video edited and up in time so you guys don't notice a break. Today I've driven over Colbeck Common and I've parked up at Longlands. Colbeck Common's that way. You can see the wall by the road that I've drove in on, and just by those pods there is where I've got parked. So once again, I'm extremely lucky to get parked right at the very start of this route. With being off, I'm not sure how much fitness I've lost, but I have got 5 Wainwrights planned today, which potentially could see my total rise from 88 to 93. Right in front of me is the first summit for today, which is Longlands Fell. The weather today can only be described as windy and very changeable. So fitness and weather-wise, we're going to suck it and see. But you guys know me, I'll always do my best to get as many done and boshed as I can. As always, it's great to have you all join me on an outdoors adventure. And if you're a new viewer of the channel, welcome to A Cumbrian Lad Outdoors. Right, let's get on track. The very start of this one isn't too bad, but it very quickly gets steep. And I have definitely lost a little bit of fitness. I'm not breathing out my backside, but I'm definitely feeling it. You see what I mean? That's quite steep. I think that is Over's Water with Brothers Water just into view there. Skidder there. Dodd just to the right of it. And here we go, first summit of the day. Wainwright number 89, Longlands Fell. Oh, you guessed it, done and boshed it, mate. Another one off the list. And with me being ill last weekend, not getting out, I missed seeing my family. I haven't seen my family at all for a fortnight, so tomorrow morning I need to be up very, very early. I'll be up before dawn and packed just for first light, and I reckon 10 or 15 minutes from here and I'll be back at the car, which means I can get home, get my kit sorted out and get through to see my dad. Even though it's a small one here, it still offers great views over the Solway and into Scotland, down towards the lakes itself and onto surrounding mountain ranges. If you're a regular viewer at the channel, you will notice that overnight at camp I've been suffering a little bit more cramp than usual. I've always had a little bit of cramp in my calves and my feet, but this last month or two it's been really crippling me. So I've got some electrolytes with some potassium and sodium in. Got that mixed up in some water, so I'm going to sip that on the ascent today and see if that helps with me cramp overnight. So a quick 5-minute break here to take some of this stuff on board, have a wee rest, put the wind back in my sails, and I'll be on to summit number 2. The rise in altitude is definitely less severe now. I've broken the back of that first mountain. The view's still opening up nicely. A cracking view of the backside of Skidder. Rolling hills in this part of the Lake District. And that is our next summit of the day, which is Bray Fell. We've got a bit of a dip coming up, followed by a nice steady uphill climb. Well, as I'm ascending, that wind is getting stronger and stronger. Forecast for 40-mile-an-hour gusts which I think we're most definitely getting now as we approach the second summit of today, Wainwright number 90, and we can finally say Ray fell. Oh, you bet you done and boshed it, mate. Another one off the list. Woo-wee! And that is getting breezy now, but absolutely fantastic panoramic views. Even though my camera's getting blown around, just look at this. Absolutely brilliant. Right, it's time to take on some more fluid here. Enjoy the views for 5 minutes, and then it's on to Wainwright number 3 of the day. That's the last summit right there. You can see the path. A very, very easy walk from that to the third summit of the day, Wainwright number 91. Great Scarfell. Good and boshed it, mate. Ooh-wee! Another one off the list, and 3 so far today. That wind's really picking up now. I'm having to lean into it, but nevertheless it's still very much worth it for these fantastic views. A nice little windbreak there that I'm going to make use of and get myself as much out of that wind as I can for 5 minutes. Take on some fluids. I hope this stuff works, because it doesn't taste so great. I'm just approaching Wainwright number 4 of the day, and the sun is behind some very thick cloud. I've not got very far to go above this ridgeline here. It's been another easy transfer from the last summit. A little bit of uphill now, but not very far to go at all. With that sun hiding behind the clouds, combined with that wind, it is getting chilly. I'm not so bad while I'm walking, but as soon as I stop, I really start to feel that wind chill. So on this one, I'm going to quickly tap the summit, because once I've completed this one, I'll be doubling back on myself to hit the 5th and final Wainwright. Number 4 of the day, number 92 in total. Not done and boshed it, mate. Woo! That wind definitely is not backing off at all. Oh, looking very grim over Skidder. Backside Blencathra looking not too bad. Over towards the Solway looks absolutely glorious. Just a bit of mist over the sea. Right, no messing around here. Time to get on to the 5th and final Wainwright of the day. I'm just coming down a steep decline, approaching the 5th and final summit of the day. Beautiful views over the Solway. Moody views over the final summit and the back of Skidder. Unfortunately, this means I'm going to have to go back up that descent I've just come down, because once I've tagged the final Wainwright for the day, I'll be returning over Great Scarfell to the first summit. Like I say, I need a really sharp getaway in the morning. I've not mentioned it so far in the video, but the Friday when I was off work sick marked 1 year since I last had an alcoholic drink. So today's walk and camp is a little bit of a celebration. I'd like to think it's visible how far I've come over the last year. Not only mentally, not only physically, but as a person. I think all round I'm much better for it. What do you guys think? Can you notice a big difference in me physically, the way I handle myself? Even in the content that I'm making, let me know in the comments. I will be discussing it a little bit later on when I'm inside the tent, just how much of a difference it's made over this last year. Still got a few health problems which aren't resolved. So yeah, I'll update you on all of that once I'm inside the tent. But for now, I've got a tiny bit of incline and we'll be boshing the final mountain. Here we go. Wainwright number 5 of the day. Number 93 in total. Meal fell. Done and boshed it, mate. Another one off the list. What a top day of mountain boshing that was. You can see a lot of the summits that I've tagged today from here. Local population are looking on. I'm not so sure with shock, disbelief or pleasure, but hey, I've enjoyed myself today. I really have. Once again, I'm not going to linger around because I start to get cold quite quickly with that wind. I'm now heading back to the first summit of the day via Great Scarfell, where hopefully time should be on my side and I'll be able to sit out and enjoy the views from there. The wind is due to drop somewhere round about the time I should get there. Let's see if Lady Luck's on our side. So I'll see you when I get to my pitch for the night. I'm on Longlands I and I have been for quite a few hours. The wind is not backing off at all. It is forecast to do so, but there's no sign of it yet. I managed to find a spot to chill out just down there, out the wind. Sunset is in about an hour. The tent is up and it is time to get in it for sure. Looks like there's rain in the distance now. Just the very start of the sunset colours starting. You can see how low it is in the sky. It's lighting up the sea. Beautiful views. No surprises that I'm in the QU Storm Star tonight. And she's working for a T. She's flexing her muscles, but standing strong. Right, time to get in and get out of this horrible wind. That's by no means the strongest wind that I've been out in, or even pitched a tent in for that matter. But I am pretty glad to be inside the tent. You can see she's getting buffeted around pretty strongly, and I would definitely estimate that wind to be upwards of the 40 to 50 mile an hour range. Fingers crossed that it does back off as forecast. I've literally just slung my rucksack inside here. I'm going to get everything set up inside the tent, and then I'm going to have myself a nice warm meal because I'm most definitely ready for it. Getting everything set up inside the tent has warmed me up nicely. My hands have kind of thawed out. You can see just a little bit of white left there with the radars, and I'm on the same setup as last week and what has become my norm at the moment. Nemo 10 set extreme long wide, Sea Summit Spark 2 sleeping bag with Aeros premium pillow. Jet boils all set up, ready for action. Even Tactical Duck is ready for some food. If you know, you know. Oh yeah. Dolmio meatballs fusilli for tea tonight. Once again, all the figures are in the green apart from the salt, so reasonably healthy. I'm with me doing a 7.5 mile hike so far today. I'll have sweated a bit of salt out anyway, so that isn't too bad. As I've said in my last few videos, I'm finding these really good value for money at £2.60 odd. You might even be able to get them cheaper. So I'll get it boiled up and let you know what I think about it. Right, let's give this a whirl. I'm looking forward to this one. It's been in for about 12 minutes. Biggest lumps of meat I've had in one of these so far. And good flavour. The strongest I've had so far. Yeah, just what the doctor ordered. For summertime these are perfect, but for winter I'm either going to be back on the Mylar bags for my tea, dehydrated food, or I'm going to have to double these up in a Mylar bag. Bang on. Well, my tea's all settled and I've really enjoyed that. I was hoping that as forecast this wind would back off and I'd be able to get outside and enjoy the views for a little bit, but there's absolutely no sign of it. And I'm not going to sit outside just to get cold again, to then have to get warmed up again. so it looks like I'm in the tent for the evening. To be fair, it's not far off my bedtime. I'm normally pretty early to bed, as I'm up so early in the morning. But before I get my head down for the night, let's talk about 1 year alcohol free and how much of a difference it's made in my life. Which is huge, by the way, huge. There was two main reasons for me deciding to give up alcohol. Both of which I've discussed on the channel before. I've never had a problem with alcohol as far as being an alcoholic was concerned. It just wasn't an issue. I could go days, weeks without it. But my problem was, I have a start button, but there's no stop button to press. So once that start button is hit, it's a case of hold on for the ride. You know, I'm quite a outgoing and loud personality, especially when I've had a drink. And you know, with that, you can say the wrong things and upset people and all that kind of stuff. And then you get a week's worth of regrettamine hitting, and maybe this is with a bit of age, but I couldn't handle the hangovers anymore. Getting like a 10-day depression and feeling rough for 7 days, and you know, so that was reason number one. Reason number two is when I was diagnosed with low testosterone, which is still ongoing. My testosterone was diagnosed as dangerously low. On the scale that we use in the UK, it was a 7.1. Anything below 12 is classed as very low, dangerously so. So I was used like a pin cushion for months. But on that first meeting was when I decided to go alcohol free properly, because alcohol affects the male testosterone levels, which drops by 1% per year once you get to around about 30. So I'm 51 now. At least 20% if you don't count compound, because obviously it's 20. If you lose 1% the first year, then it's slightly more than that the next year. So yeah, plus whatever other underlying issues I've got. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, that's maybe the wrong way to say it, but with stopping alcohol, my testosterone level did rise. Not sufficiently enough to stop the symptoms, which is extreme fatigue, tiredness, recovery, plus other things. But it raised to a point where the NHS wouldn't treat me, because I was within their normal. However, if I go to a private clinic, I'm still classed as dangerously low, but it's £150 a month. So I decided to keep the alcohol free going, try and do some more training at home, which I've been doing for a little while now. I've got some weights, I've got a bench, I've been doing calisthenics. Obviously you guys know that I've dropped officially 3.5 stone now, bang on 12 stone since New Year. The idea being that I'm now doing as much as humanly possible to let my body recover from these low testosterone symptoms. It's not, it really isn't. But the benefits from being alcohol free have been huge. Initially it was only going to be 6 months alcohol free. After 3 months I felt a huge world of a difference. But when I hit 6 months, it was a revelation. I felt like myself for the first time in a long time. You know, a lot of my demons inside my head had gone. You know, I have talked about my struggles with mental health and what have you. Never used it as an excuse, but you know, I've always encouraged people to talk openly about it like what I do. But I'm better in myself, I'm better in my own head, I'm a better person to other people, I'm a better person at home, I'm a better person at work. Everybody that I go camping with, English Woodsman, Adam in the Wild, Camping Down, Bewley Brothers, Kat, Amy, the list goes on. There's so many people I could name, have all said that they've seen a marked improvement in myself, confidence, the way I carry myself, the way I am with other people. And that's a really good thing to hear from your close friends, because they don't try and pull the wool over your eyes when they say something like that. They really mean it. And despite doing 2 multi-day hikes before I quit the alcohol, they did absolutely ruin me. This year, granted, the Heriot Way was a lot shorter, but I managed that with ease. I'm smashing mountains, multiple mountains on camps now, with ease. The difficult part comes the next day, when I've got to battle the slow to zero recovery and the tiredness and what have you. I like to think that I'm making better content for you guys. You know, I've looked back on some of my old videos and it was quite clear to me now that I could have made better videos then. YouTube doesn't seem to think that I am. It doesn't really want to push my videos out there, but you know, I'm finding myself with more drive to get out there and get further, which I didn't have before. So maybe that's that little increase in the testosterone give me a little bit more drive, but not enough to help my recovery and the tiredness. You know, I've really put a lot of effort into my channel since I started it. I always have and I always will. But I think now that I'm doing better with the videos, and I hope you guys can see that. I really do, because the outdoors, mountains, tents, equipment, you guys, most importantly, because without you guys there wouldn't be a channel. You know, it all means the absolute world to me. And you know, it's something that I enjoy doing. It's one of the few passions that I've got in life. You know, which is why I always say in every video, I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do, because that's what I'm trying to get across. My enjoyment for the outdoors, the equipment, the mountains, the woodland, the rivers, everything. Please let me know in the comments what you think I've achieved over this last year being alcohol free. Have I improved on my channel? Have I improved what I'm doing, the way I carry myself? Are my videos better? It might be my perception, it might be the perception of the people that I'm going camping with. You know, I might not be 100% with all this testosterone thing that's going on, but I do feel 1,000% better than I did a year ago. I'm lucky to have a really good bunch of friends around me now, something that I didn't have for a very long time. I'm very, very, very lucky to have all you guys and girls watching and offering me kind words of support. And it's great to have you all to be able to speak openly to as well. You know, there's some people out there who would just tell me to shut up. They don't want to hear it. But, you know, you guys always support me, which is why I try and give back the best way that I can, which is to get out there, get out here, walk 5 peaks in a day, get a camping in windy conditions, show you that it can be done by a normal person, because trust me, if I can do it, honestly, anybody can do it. If you're even thinking about getting out there and getting a tent or a hammock or a bivy bag or whatever and going out there and giving this a go, please just go and do it. If you need any words of advice on where to go, kit or anything like that, please just drop me a private message. The best place is Instagram, and I will help you out the best that I can. I get a lot of messages every week of people asking me advice on kit and where to go and what have you, so on and so forth. And if I can, I will always help you out. And I mentioned in my last video that I am thinking of dipping my feet into the world of guiding people. Like I say, I'm not a qualified mountain leader or anything like that, but I do regard myself as experienced, very experienced out in the fells now. And certainly to start with, we might have interest from people that are beginners, but are maybe a little bit nervous to make that first step. So maybe I could be a guide for people looking to get into it. And if that is of interest to you guys, to anyone, once again, drop me a private message on Instagram. I will put a link to my Instagram in the description, and let me know you're interested. You can also leave, if you are interested in the guided camps, you can also leave a message in the comments. So just before I get my head down for the night, alcohol free, highly recommend it. And now that is a permanent situation for me. That is me teetotal for life. And a huge thank you to you all for supporting me while I've been doing it. Right, time to knock the camera off for today. I'm going to chill myself out for a little bit, jump in the bag and get my head down for an early night, because it will be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Knowing me, probably around about 4 in the morning. There'll be no coffee, it'll be a quick breakfast. Pack up, tear the tent down, get back to the car and get home so I can go and see my family. Enjoy what few pictures I've managed to collect over today in these windy conditions, and I will see you in the morning. Good morning everyone, 4:30 and I've slept quite solid. Woke up a couple of times, but I've had a good 7 hours kip. The electrolyte hydration powder that I had in my water bottle yesterday seems to have worked the trick. Didn't have any cramp in my legs at all, a little tiny bit in the top of one foot, but it was only very brief, so I'm really happy with that. Sunrise is in exactly 1 hour's time from now. So I'm gonna get my breakfast down me and make a start packing up inside the tent to get myself out of that car as soon as possible. I'm definitely gonna miss my coffee this morning. I always do when I haven't got any at camp. I've had a good drink of water while I was taking my vitamins. This breakfast will get me going. And I've got a 0 sugar tin of Monster in the car. So once I get there, I'll get my caffeine fix. And that wind just hasn't backed off all night. So once again, I find myself in the inevitable position of not looking forward to getting out of my tent and packing her down. But it'll be right. I'm gonna enjoy my breakfast, get myself sorted inside the tent, and then it's time to brave the elements. Right, that's inside the tent sorted. Rucksack's ready to go. Just gonna get those boots laced up, brave that wind, get the tent down, and get myself away. Well, getting that tent down this morning was hard work. I definitely didn't enjoy that. My hands are freezing. Some nice sunrise colours in the sky, looking a bit bleak on the horizon over the Solway. Bass Lake, back of Skidder, that's where I had my tent last night. Nothing but a patch of flattened grass. Rucksack is ready to go with my rubbish bag attached to it. So as always, and as it should be, I'll be leaving no trace. Right, time to get back down the mountain to the car and get out of this cold wind. Definitely going for double quick time this morning. I really am surprised that that wind hasn't backed off at all overnight. But like I say, it's a relatively short walk down to the car. It's exactly 10 to 6 in the morning now, making good time already. I've only got to make it down there. Most definitely looks like there's some rain coming from that direction. And I'd definitely like to beat that. 15 minutes and I'm back at the car. Sweet as a nut. What a cracking little walk that was. I highly recommend that if you're looking at ticking off 4 or 5 Wainwrights in fairly quick succession. That's a really good one. And what a way to celebrate 1 year of no alcohol, albeit 1 week late. A bracing walk and a bracing wild camp. Very enjoyable. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. So once again, until next time, stay safe. Much love from a Cumbrian lad.